All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. And in this video, we're gonna be finding out how much faster the 10-speed 2024 Mustang GTs really are. What you see in front of you is my manual S650 Mustang GT. We are gonna be draggy testing this car, 60 to 130. This is a stock S650 minus a Steeda H-pipe resonator delete. We have full weight, full interior. This is a 301A package. I do have the seats down, but they are still in the car. We are on the stock wheels and tires. We're gonna be doing a second gear hit from 60 mile an hour, as well as a third gear hit from 60 mile an hour. I do understand draggy isn't 100% end all be all as far as how fast a car is from a roll, but it is a good way to track data and get a rough estimate on where the car is at. So if you guys enjoy the content, feel free, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications. After we go ahead and get the runs in, we're going to go over the draggy data and we're going to compare the manuals versus the 10-speed autos, which I think is gonna be pretty interesting. That's a little cold start. Not really cold start, but the thing about the Gen 4s is I love the way they sound, man. Sound pretty damn good. All right, let's go ahead and hit up my little spot in Mexico. Let's turn on the gauges. Now we're gonna do these hits in the drag mode because if you guys are unaware, these S650s, the manuals, they do have clutch protection and drag mode is going to remove a lot of that unnecessary protection. Shut off advanced track 2. All right. Let's warm these tires up. Stock tires are all right for daily use. They're all right, but if we're talking about going ahead and trying to hook up, they're not the best. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think this car is going to draggy 60 to 130 though, man, because honestly, on the draggy pages, if you've been a part of the draggy pages, especially on Facebook, a lot of people will lie about what they have done to their car to make it seem either a lot faster or to justify, you know, why it's not running the times they thought it was going to run. Y'all know me, man. I keep it 100% with my modifications. So realistically, I think this car, I gotta check the DA and the weather right now. Apparently it's 86 degrees outside, but sometimes the car thermostat can be a little bit off. If it is closer to 90 and the DA is over 2000, I think the car is going to be in the 12s, 60 to 130. But if it's like, let's say 1700 DA, or maybe even let's say like 1500, 1600 DA, which I think is probably closer to 2000 in all reality, I think it potentially could run like a mid to high 11. Now again, that's not fast whatsoever realistically, but I'm just trying to get a baseline so I know what this car runs pretty much in stock full trim mode, because Steeda, you know, H-pipe, it's not really going to add horsepower. It's not going to adjust the 60 to 130 times, but a Whipple sure as hell would, as well as obviously custom tuning. I'm actually not going to go this way. As well as custom tuning when that is available, but from the way, you know, things are looking, the Whipple is going to be on the car long before custom tuning is available, and then we're really going to see, you know, a drastic, at least I hope, increase in performance.
A few moments later.
All right, so we are coming up to my spot, and I did check the Dragy. It is over 2,000 DA, which is kind of wicked. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I did kind of expect it to be high, but I mean 2K DA. I was kind of hoping it's gonna be 1,500, 1,600 tonight, but oof. Kind of wicked, man. I'm really curious what this thing is gonna run. Like I said, this is a pretty much stock S650. Oh, we got some cars coming up. All right. Was long. I'm not gonna exactly say what time it was. I think it could be faster if I leave in third gear, but for 2K DA, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's not that bad. I'm not gonna, oh, what the hell? I'm sure as hell not gonna beat myself up over it. Whew. It's like crazy, but this car is like, it's like the Shelby is like over 2 times as fast as this thing, which is kind of crazy to think. Like, if I was to race this car up against the Shelby, like it would be like football fields different. Like the Shelby is literally like twice as fast, over twice as fast, which is kind of dope, you know, to see the comparison, you know? Pretty cool. Whoa. This thing got some pretty good evasive maneuvers, I'll say that. All right. We are almost at my little spot, man. We're gonna be doing a third gear hit. See what that is. I think it's gonna make a slight difference. Might not be major, but I think it's gonna be a slight difference in the times due to the fact that I do not have to shift. But I think honestly, lighter wheels, stickier tires, and maybe even an E30 mix would make a pretty significant difference. Ass road, man. Damn, that road was hella bumpy. I probably need to do it on a better road, because that was actually like insanely bumpy, way more bumpy than the last time. I don't know if I think I was in the same lane. I might do the hit from like a different road, because that was crazy bumpy. At least she sounds good. That's honestly honestly part of the reason I wanted to take the car out, just to get some hard pulls, man. But I'm really curious to see, like, I wish these were tunable, man. I'm really curious to see what just a simple tune would do. All right, so I'm gonna try to do a hit on a more flat road. But something that I realized, ooh, that guy is flying. They cutting up in traffic. Too bad I'm not in the Shelby. Oh man, I wish I was in the Shelby GT50. They were flying. But something I did notice about this car is 355 gears with the MT82 D4 on stock file, shifting at 7,500 RPM in a 2024 Mustang GT is the same exact speed shifting going into 4th gear as a 355 geared New Edge Mustang with a stock 3650 transmission. Both of them are shifting at 114 miles an hour. So I think that's very, very, very interesting. It goes to show you that Ford really did not change the ratios too much, you know, over the years. Yes, different motor, different RPM, different transmission, but it all is pretty damn similar. And I noticed this when I ran my homeboy's Gen 2, because whenever I was shifting, his 6R80 was shifting. So I'm pretty sure a 6R80 3rd gear, I think the 6R80 will literally shift into 4th at around the same speed, about 114, 115 mile an hour. Let me know in the comment section, for those of you who have a Gen 2 6R80, what is your 4th gear like? What is it shifting, you know, or what is the speed that the car is shifting at going into 4th gear? Because this is very, very interesting, man. Very interesting that this is the same speed as my New Edge, which gives me a lot of hope with how, you know, effective this car can be from a roll with obviously more horsepower. Because if I don't have to shift, like, you know, at all, up to 114 mile an hour, this car just needs more power, quite literally. So I'm really excited, man. But, you know, 2nd gear hits so far are faster, but I do think boosted, the 3rd gear hits will be faster in this vehicle, 100%. Just because I won't have to shift. This thing is so fun just doing 2nd gear rips, it for real is. So fun doing 2nd gear rips. Just need some boost. Soon though, I need to get that baseline. I wonder what that is, man. That shit is crazy. Woo-wee. Let this car cool off. All right. Let's actually go ahead and check out that carbon intake manifold cover. I gotta get my homeboy to actually come wash this car. I got like rag marks on it. I mean, look at all this, like it's Oh yeah, this bad boy is on. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is the next day. Now, I actually left my spare GoPro battery at home. So as soon as I got done with that second run, my GoPro died. I was unable to get another run on a more flat road, but in all reality, it's not that big of a deal. It is good to have data. Same weather conditions, same road, just a different gear start. So we're gonna go over the 60 to 130 numbers that my car is running in the essentially stock form. Now, according to Dragy, the second gear hit, it ran a 1239. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put a screenshot of the Dragy chart up for you guys to take a look at. The weather was 82 degrees and the DA was over 2,000. So really not the best conditions to be doing 60 to 130 hits. But again, that is the hand that I was dealt. It's summertime here in Texas. You know, it's 100 plus degrees during the day, 80 plus degrees at night, over 2K DA, pretty much essentially 24/7 unless it rains, and it might drop down to like 1500. I thought we can kind of get, you know, 1500 DA, but it is what it is. Now, what's really interesting about this is the third gear hit was actually the slower time, but that was the road, or at the same stretch of road, but I kind of felt a little bit more bumpiness. Still was done within the drag mode, and that was a 1245. Same exact weather conditions, 82 degrees, over 2,000 DA. The slope was a little bit different, but I do believe I might have hit in third gear maybe a little bit later than the first initial hit. So there is some kind of discrepancy, but it's not a big deal. It's still a valid chart, but those are going to be the numbers that this car runs leaving in second as well as leaving in third. Now again, these are the only two hits I've done in, you know, this car with the Dragy recording. Obviously, if I go out, you know, and try to run it like 10 times, you know, a better time will come. But in all reality, in stock form, there's just really no reason to do that. It's stock. It's not really a big deal. The whole purpose of doing a Dragy run when the car is stock is to get a baseline, and then you can go ahead and try to make the car faster if you choose, which we are going to be doing exactly that. I'm really curious to see what this car is going to pick up with the Whipple. The one thing that I do like about this vehicle is it is consistent. Like I said, no matter if you leave it in third gear or if you leave in second gear, you just have to be able to shift properly. But if I was to do, you know, one modification, actually technically two modifications that would, you know, alter the times, I feel like significantly, would be to put on a lighter set of wheels as well as a stickier tire, because this car does like the chirp shifting into third gear if we do a second gear hit. All right, so I'm back at my place. Ever since the hurricane, my Wi-Fi has been terrible, so we're gonna go over what other S650 Mustangs are running according to Dragy 60 to 130. There really isn't a spot that I could do a quarter-mile hit with. Well, there is, but it's crawling with cops, so I'm not going over there. But we're gonna look at this one. I'm gonna be putting these screenshots on the screen as well, so you guys can take a look. We have one here, and this is a stock 2024 Mustang GT. It has stock 255 factory tires on an unprepped surface, and it ran 11.25. This is a 10-speed car. You can tell by the graph because there is no dips. It's just a straight line. And the weather was 83 degrees and 1800 DA. So that is somewhat similar conditions to mine. It's just that this car is a 10-speed versus my 6-speed manual. And typically the 10 speeds are going to be about a second, maybe even 2 seconds faster, depending on the application and weight. So this is pretty spot on. Stock car, 10 speed, running 11.25 in similar DA. That's not bad. Now we also have another car here which ran a 1041. This car has no modifications listed. Somebody in the comments actually did wonder if it was stock.
1041, the temperature was 70 degrees outside, and it also was 900 DA. So 1100 DA less than mine. 10 speed ran 1041 and better air. So honestly, I believe it. I do want to race, actually road race against another 10 speed S650 Mustang GT, just to go ahead and see, you know, if this is actually accurate. I want to say that it is somewhat accurate. Again, I've never actually ran up against another 10-speed S650. I ran up against plenty, you know, stock 10-speed S550s, and this is on the faster time. Usually, S550s, I mean, I've seen a couple of them in the Dragy page, but I'm just going off of just personal experience, you know, racing a car that, you know, ran 10-second 60 to 130s, my old white 2-valve. I was easily walking away from stock 10 speed. So 1041, you know, new generation Mustang, I can believe it, but I definitely want to go ahead. I keep saying go ahead. I definitely want to go ahead and race up against another one to go ahead and find that out. Oh my God, I said it again. Now we have another 10-speed Mustang GT. This one is in way better air. This is stock, just 10 speed, 255, same exact tires as me. There's literally no manuals. Like, I'm like gonna be the only manual that's gonna be posting. And it ran a 1023, 60 to 130, and the weather was 55 degrees with 383 DA, which is kind of interesting because the other car ran similar times in worse conditions. So that's kind of like how I like to say, you know, there's a little bit of a discrepancy. You know, you really can't take everything with a grain of salt, and this guy ran a little bit downhill as well. So that's kind of why I want to go ahead and actually run up against somebody who has like a new S650 that's actually stock, just to go ahead and see, you know, if these times are accurate. Because, you know, realistically, a 10-second 60 to 130 versus a 12-second 60 to 130, you know, that's a considerable difference if we're talking about a roll. Like, that's realistic. That's like a bus length. That's 2 seconds. So that's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of ground being taken up. So that's what, you know, these 10 speeds are running. You know, some of them, for the most part, you know, they're either running low 11s or low 10s, which is kind of, you know, that's pretty drastic. That's why I don't really take Dragy with a grain of salt. I just use it to go ahead and see exactly where the car is at. And then finally we have a S650 with a 6-speed manual, but this one is an MT82, obviously. Whipple car, 3.5 upper, and it is running a 597. So that's very, very interesting. The conditions were 65 degrees and 345 DA, and it was a 3rd gear hit and went a 597. So yeah, that's not a bad time whatsoever. With the MT82 on the Whipple calibration. Whipple calibration isn't bad, but when custom tuning is available, these are going to speed up significantly. So these are, you know, the times that people have posted up on Dragy. Like I said, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because there was 2 instances where, you know, they were running low 11 stock and low 10 stock. So that's pretty drastic. You know, that's almost a second difference. So I definitely need to go ahead and, you know, get some firsthand, you know, experience running up against a 10-speed S650, and also potentially a 10-speed S550 to see, you know, if there is a difference. Because I can guarantee you some of these guys probably had the carbon trap removed, weight reduction, and, you know, they might be on a tire to get the time, but they'll just say stock. That typically is what happens. If people don't go ahead and, you know, mess with, you know, headers or cold air intakes or something like that, or intake manifolds, it's always stock. You know, I can get somebody saying, you know, a resonator deleted stock because it's not really going to change anything, but, you know, things like moving the carbon traps, I've seen that actually does make a difference, 60 to 130. I've seen that doing a drag pack obviously doesn't make a difference. So we're gonna have to find out. Did forget to add, this car still has the carbon traps in it. So like, it literally is just S650 with an H-pipe resonator delete, carbon traps still in the vehicle. So let me know what you guys think. I gotta race one to actually find out, because, you know, obviously it is Dragy. So if you guys enjoy, feel free, Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Let me know down in the comment section if you have a 6-speed manual S650, what is your car running? If you have a 10-speed automatic S650, what is your car running? If you have a Whipple setup, manual or 10-speed, also feel free to share what your car is running as well. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.